You going to the big drink tonight?
Hey, Peter. You
Hey,
going
Peter.
to the... Hey, Peter.
Going to the big drink tonight?
I'm going to the big drink tonight, Peter.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that comes out of their big drink. I'm your host, JD. This is my co-host,
The big drink.
James. I call him James. Everyone else calls him Jimmy. It just works like
Big
that.
drink.
A lot of things have happened this week, huh, James?
You know, I went to the big drink this week.
Well, we went to the big drink, and we saw something at the big drink, right, James?
Yeah,
And
we saw hey, Peter.
We saw Doctor Strange, Mom. So let's talk about that.
No. Doctor Strange in the mom.
In the Mom.
As we learned at the end of the movie.
That's what this entire episode is just going to be about. It's just a review of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Now we tricked you.
There will be spoilers.
You
there will
this
be
is a
spoilers.
Podcast episode? No, it's a hidden review.
No,
Boom,
it actually is a podcast
Shag.
episode.
Scoop
And it's
Shag
also
style.
the review.
Boom, Scoop and Shag style.
It's also the review. So,
By the way, I have a Scoop and Shag sticker I've been trying to give you that I just keep forgetting to grab anytime we see each other.
oh, sure.
I've been trying to give it to you since Level Up. And I just
So
keep
since
forgetting.
3 months ago is what you're trying to say.
I've had it all that time. Before we even went, I had it. Like, I had ordered it and it arrived. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to give this to JD. And I just keep forgetting to grab it before I leave.
Oh, well. Till next time then, huh? So anyway,
Yeah.
as I was saying, heavy spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, go and watch it.
And if you haven't seen it, why the fuck haven't you? Listen here, I'll cut your
Well, I
goddamn
mean, James,
throat.
not everyone can go to the big drink, so some people are just busy.
Of course everyone can go to the big drink.
They
Why
don't have
can't you go
time.
to the
They just don't
big
have
drink?
time to go to the big drink.
How do you not have time to go to the big drink?
Let's give our overall ratings right off the bat. So,
I'd
what
say-
would you give it out of 10?
8 out of 10.
Nice. I
think
would
it's a-
also give it an 8 out of 10.
I think this is much better than most of Marvel's movies, especially as of recently.
I
think
do like this more than I like other Marvel movies.
I was going to say, I think this in Spider-Man and Shang-Chi have been some like very good divergence from the kind of normal Marvel stuff that we get. I think Shang-Chi's the closest that there is. And then like Spider-Man and this have been the most different with sort of style and just like what we get.
Yeah. With Shang-Chi,
really enjoy them.
they got a little bit more cartoony, and then
Yeah.
with
I
Spider-Man
don't know
and
if
this
I was-
movie, they're a bit more serious, serious.
They get a bit cartoony in this movie.
Oh, they get pretty cartoony here, but I think it's well placed considering it's Doctor Strange, and that's
the way-
just one of the franchise they can get pretty crazy with. So
By the way, I don't know if I brought this up to you, but I think that Shang-Chi is the perfect Dragon Ball Z movie.
it would fit really well. If they did
It's-
like a Dragon Ball movie and it just had like the same plot points and characters as
Same
Shang-Chi,
actors.
that would have been pretty good.
I mean, genuinely, it's like the final fight. I was like, this feels like a fight out of Dragon Ball. Like you literally shoot.
Yeah, they
show him shooting.
summon Shenron and then murder him.
Yeah, they do. They summon Shenron. He can throw the Kamehamehas.
Yeah,
Or
they shoot laser beams and stuff, and then
is
yeah.
Kamehameha from Street Fighter? I never know if I'm
yes,
saying the right one or
James,
not.
it's from Street Fighter.
Is it?
Yes.
Or what's the one from Street Fighter actually?
I forgot what they called it.
Hadouken.
Hadouken? Is that what the one?
Hadouken.
It's just a Dragon Ball Z character going Hadouken and shooting out the.
I mean, that's essentially what they do.
I mean, it looks like the same thing. Anyway, back to Doctor Strange. Yeah, it starts out pretty. It starts out right in the get go. There's a lot of action
Yeah.
in this movie. I have to say, like most scenes are like there's something crazy going on in most scenes.
Very big, fight. Like the fights are very big and very like interesting to look at because they're always having something going
Yeah,
on.
I'm not sure.
Like, even when it's
I'm not
not
sure
right in
how
front of
long
us.
the movie was, but it felt really fast paced.
2 hours and 6 minutes.
2 hours and 6 minutes. Oh, okay, so it's not as long as I thought it was, but it felt really fast paced, like consistently fast paced, which is fine with me. So yeah, it starts out with Doctor Strange and a new character, America Chavez. I think her name was
America Chavez.
America Chavez, which is it's a really boss name, but
it's a very boss name, and it's a
weird.
very boss character because in the comics they have an insane fucking set of powers. It's not just
that character part of like is more related to Doctor Strange than anything else.
No, they're completely separated. They're like, I don't know if it's been retconned, but I think the story of them being from another universe is still true.
I mean, yeah, that is technically what the story is in this one too.
Because I think either that was the story and then it got like retconned into no, she's just an alien and she has the ability to go through multiverse and just kind of got scared and assumed that's what happened.
Yeah, so they're running through like this they're running through this place called the well, we learned this later in the movie, but it's called like the gap between parallel universes or something. So Doctor Strange and America Chavez are running through, and then you notice that Doctor Strange looks a little different. He's got a ponytail.
I really like this outfit. Like of all the Doctor Stranges we get,
specific Doctor Strange outfit.
I think this outfit is so good. I think
the ponytail could miss me.
Yeah, I wish it was his normal hair and this outfit because it's such a superhero outfit. I think it's the most superhero outfit he has in the whole film. Yeah, I'm just very happy with it.
Yeah, so he's running with America Chavez through this place, and they're getting chased by this big CGI demon thing. And it looks all right. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like crazy weird. It reminded me of something else that I forgot about, but like it's just like a swirling mass of like black and orange.
It reminded me of the monsters from the Tom Cruise movie Live, Die, Repeat or Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It looked kind of like that.
All the flexy points that kind of like just spike out when it's like moving.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's like a fluid solid type thing. So it's like it's always moving and swirling around. So it looks like one of those monsters, yeah.
Just a big mass.
Yeah, so then I think you get a little bit of what'll like the brutality that'll come later in the movie in this scene, because Doctor Strange is like trying to hold this demon back while America Chavez gets like this book that's in the middle of this place, and I guess it's like a kind of a MacGuffin type thing, right?
Yeah, MacGuffin.
Where they just get it and then they can just win. So
yeah, basically.
Yeah, and then he gets stabbed through like his leg.
And
they show it
through.
Yeah, and they show it too. They show this like wound on his leg, and it's like festering and stuff. It's like it looks pretty bad.
This is a PG-13 movie.
It is a PG-13 movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was rated violence. Higher. Yeah.
It was supposed to be their first rated R movie, and it was supposed to be like a straight horror movie.
I mean, if you didn't tell me what the rating was, if you told me that the rating was rated R, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
I mean, especially if like one of the scenes later and literally how graphic it is.
Oh, it gets graphic. It gets graphic.
But it's that was before they had Sam Raimi on the project. Originally, they had the first director from the first movie.
Oh, the one who did the first Doctor Strange.
And it was going to still be a horror movie and everything, but it was like the script was different and everything. But then when they got like Sam Raimi, they're like, okay, it's no longer rated R. But I feel like there's still a rated R cut, because I feel like even though a lot of scenes have very graphic depictions, I think there was a much more graphic version and they had to cut it.
I think that it was realistically graphic. Like I know there's some movies that just like go over the top with the gore thing to the point where it's like, okay, well, you know,
that's
sure, maybe a couple gallons of blood could pour through, you know, my arm, but anyway,
that is a Sam Raimi classic though, because like if you watch any of the Evil Dead movies, it's just purely like it's just like a gallons.
Is Bruce Campbell in the Evil Dead movies?
Yeah, he's the main character. Ash. I almost called him Ash Ketchum.
Ash Ketchum, you know, the 10-year-old Pokemon master. The Pokemon master.
That's Ash Ketchum. This is Ass Ketchum.
Oh, sorry, Ass Ketchum. He gets all the bitches in quotations. That's his subtitle.
You know, that is also what happens in the movies. But Ash Williams, who has a connection to Marvel, because back during the Marvel Zombies era, there was a crossover comic where Ash Williams was responsible for zombies being brought into the Marvel world.
Cool.
It's actually very interesting.
Yeah, so we go back, and then he's holding back this demon. It breaks free and it kills Doctor Strange.
He's like, "Demon, I've come to bargain."
Demon, or actually before it kills him, he turns to look at America Chavez and he's like, sorry, kid. I'm gonna have to
Sorry,
snap your
kid.
neck now. It's nothing personal.
Listen,
I'm just a messenger.
Don't. It's
So
nothing
he starts
personal.
sucking the soul out of this out of America Chavez, which I guess is just her.
your soul.
I guess Eddie Sorcerer can just suck the power out of America Chavez.
Listen, man, it's just oozing out of her.
Yeah, and her power is that she can jump through multiple, or she could just jump through parallel universes. I think that's her.
By
that's
punching
her power,
a
right?
star-shaped symbol through
Yeah,
him.
she can punch and then open up a portal, a star-shaped portal. It's a cool looking portal. I'm not gonna lie.
A very interesting
And when
power.
it's
I like
like-
how they adapted it.
It is an interesting power, especially if into like the whole multiverse thing that they're going in, the direction they're going in.
Also, I like that because this Doctor Strange gets killed, he's
Yeah.
not officially dead yet when she opens the portal, and he's still like, even though he's about to die and he like was trying to take her power and like which would kill her,
Yeah.
he does save her still by cutting off the limbs of the monster. But
Yeah,
also,
so what happens
like,
is
his
he's trying
specialty
to
is
suck the
cryomancy.
power out of Chavez because he's like, okay, we're probably not going to make it out of here, and I can't let this demon get your power, so I'm gonna have to like kill you, take your power, so that it doesn't.
I'm
get
just
used
a
for evil.
messenger.
This is the only way. So then as
Listen,
he's
kid, you
doing it,
gotta
he
go to
gets
Big
stabbed. As he's doing, he gets stabbed through like his chest, and then he's like, he starts seizing out while the demon's like just murdering him. And then he gets like thrown onto the ground, and like his entire body's like festering.
Otter.
Butter. Yeah, and then America Chavez gets caught, and she's like all wrapped up. And then I guess this happens whenever. So the thing is that she can't like control her powers, I guess, at the beginning. So she can't just like activate it and then like jump through a portal. And it only activates when she's in like extreme fear or something. So then the portal activates because she's really scared, right? And the portal opens up, and then the portal's trying to pull like America Chavez through, and then Doctor Strange cuts the demon's tentacles so she can go through that portal, and he gets sucked through too. And then Doctor Strange wakes up from this really weird dream because guess what?
Smash
It was
cut
all a
into
dream.
him flying through the multiverse and waking up.
I don't think that he flew through the multiverse. I think he just
No,
went
I mean
through
the
portal and then
body.
it
The
cuts
body
through.
was like flailing around, and then it like smash cut like matched up with him waking up in like the same way his arms were positioned and everything.
Yeah, I think it was just his body went through, and then as his body was like moving around, it zoomed in on his face and then zoomed out, and he's in his bed. That kind
I
of
like
cut.
that Doctor Strange had like cryomancy as his specialty, rather than sort of like the flame abilities that our normal Doctor Strange has.
Oh yeah, he's more like bluish magic, and
It did
our
free
Doctor
stuff.
Strange uses the well, I guess it's not really like a fire thing. It's like sparks, I guess, but it doesn't
Yeah,
really
it's
set
just
things
kinda
on
like-
fire.
Yeah, it's just kind of like dripping, so it's like yeah.
Yeah, the other Doctor Strange did freeze stuff. That was interesting. So yeah, they get through.
Yeah, they get through, and then like he wakes up and he's like, "I'm in my bed, and there's my broken watch. Remember that?"
Oh yeah, they did have a watch. Sorry, I'm gonna close my door real quick.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. I'll keep talking. Okay, so what happens next will blow your mind. You will not believe this. I promise you, it is intense what happens next in this movie. It's purely just awing at what happens. Me and JD are in the movie.
All right, I'm back.
Oh.
Did you continue talking about the movie? Where we
Yeah,
at?
it was. I was telling about the big thing that happens next. We're in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you. We literally show up at. So, in the first Doctor Strange, he was like, his girlfriend was this lady called Christine, a nurse at the hospital. And in this movie, he's like, I'm going to her wedding, but not as a person being wed to her. And so he's like standing in the pews and everything. And there's a man next to him, and we're like, oh, it's JD. And then another guy shows up, and it's like, it's me. So we're in the movie.
Oh yeah, so he shows up to like this chapel looking place after he puts on his suit and everything. And throughout this entire movie,
magic.
we've been making. I guess we had this bit going where We're just talking about the big drink. So, so when Doctor Strange wakes up from his like nightmare thing, I think you leaned over to it. You were like, me after I wake up from a night at the big drink.
Yes, I think that's what
So
began
funny.
it. I think it was either that or us. It was.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
they were
like the
running
entire
up
plot of the movie is that America Chavez and Doctor Strange needs to get to the big drink.
big drink.
Yeah.
In our version of the movie, that's what it is.
I mean, that
I
is
think
literally what the movie is about. So
I think the first joke we make is when they're running towards the MacGuffin book.
yeah,
We're
they're
like,
running toward the
us on
MacGuffin
our way to
book.
big drink.
Me on my way to the big drink with the boys. So yeah, he goes to this chapel looking place. He sits down next to like this vague Asian looking man. And he's like, "Hey, look, it's me." And then the
like, he
Asian man
starts
really awkwardly
scooting
like
over.
moves out of the way. And then like the doctor from the first movie, like his colleague doctor from the
The one
first
who
movie.
robs the vending machine after Doctor Strange passes through with his.
You know, you
astral
say that,
projection.
but I don't remember that.
It
I remember him
happens.
being like, he might have been a nurse or something, but I remember him being like, yeah, this patient's like all is brain dead. We're gonna kill him now. It's like, what? You can't do that. You can't do that.
And Doctor Strange is like, no, I can operate. I swear. With
Yeah.
my
So,
perfect
so
hands.
that guy, he sits down next to Doctor Strange. He's like, you know, you're a superhero now and everything. My brother died. And then
He's like,
it's
my
the
cat
most
died.
awkward
Doctor Strange is,
conversation.
he's like, yeah, because of the 5-year blip, my cat's died. And Doctor Strange is like tugging at his collar. He's like, yeesh. And then he's like, and my brother died. He's like, oh,
No, I
fuck.
like at first Doctor Strange is like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's like, and my brother died. And then he's like, oh, yeesh.
Yikes.
Yopes. And he's like, yeah, so you gave him
Yopes.
the time stone. Did you need to do that? Is that the only way? And then Doctor Strange is like, yeah, that was the only way. Which is a theme in this movie, I guess, is that Doctor Strange is willing to do one thing that's morally gray for the sake of the greater good, right?
Yeah, he's like, I know what's best because
This is the
I'm
only
the doctor.
way.
The knife is in my hand. Yikes.
Oh, yeesh.
Gulp.
So yeah, so they're at the big drink, and then the colleague's like, "Well, you still couldn't get the girl," and then they stand up, and turns out it's a wedding. It's Christine's wedding. Yeah, so then that's super awkward.
big drink.
Gives her like a watch or something. Talks about the romance thing, which actually is not in. There's not too much romance in this movie actually, which I appreciate.
No, one would say Doctor Strange is a little bit maidenless.
He's a maidenless guy, and you know, I think it's just. I think he's just because he's strange. Dude, we have to
Just
take
edit-
We have to take Doctor Strange out to the big drink one day. Get him some
Just
maidens.
edit
maidens,
the
you know?
picture of Megamind like being like no bitches, but then put
No
the Doctor
maidens.
Strange beard and haircut on him.
Maiden Liz.
Maidenless.
So yeah, and then you know, a big scuffle happens downtown, like right outside the chapel.
Right outside
So you
the
know,
big
Doctor
drink.
Strange suits up and goes check out what's wrong. You know, turns out this like invisible monster thing is crushing cars and buses. He casts this little spell that reveals it, and it's just like this giant eye tentacle monster thing. It looks like Vel'Koz from League of Legends, League of Legends,
Like
and
a
that's what the
Leon's?
monster looks like. So it's just a big eye, and the eye's got like tentacles sprouting out. There's a lot of tentacle monsters in this movie, huh?
It's very how you say like what's that one? A Cthulhu like kind of.
Yeah, sorry. It's like I forgot his name.
The Beholder
H.P.
from
Lovecraft,
yeah,
Lovecraftian
which
horror type
that's
thing.
Cthulhu. Yeah, that's Cthulhu.
Yeah, yeah,
It's very that.
yeah. It is that. And then he
Yeah.
reveals it. Turns out, you know, that thing is chasing America Chavez, the one we saw in the dream. So then
Whoa.
Doctor Strange fights this thing, and then you know, it's just a normal fight scene. A lot of moving parts, magic spells. I think I forgot his name actually, Han or something. Who?
Oh, his Wong.
The Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, Wong. That's what it was.
Come on, Jay, you don't remember the most stereotypical?
I thought his name was Han or something, but it was Wong. So yeah, he comes in and fights it for a little bit, and then you know, this is where we get like another like glimpse of how gory, I guess, graphic this movie's gonna be when Doctor Strange picks up this lamppost with like some demon arms that he conjured, and then he throws it at this tentacle monster, and he goes right through its eye, and then like it pulls out the eye as he like as it falls out, and it's like you see all of it. You get to see like
Right.
that penetration into the eye, and then the eye getting pulled out. And there's like
It's
blood. There's
it
actual
was like
blood like pouring
I
out
think
of
it
this
was
eye.
the first moment I went like, "Oh man, this is pretty gory."
I
Like
looked at
that.
that, and then like the second it went into, I thought it was like, oh, it's like gonna cut away and won't actually show. But no, it shows it like its eye just getting just stabbed, and like it pulls out the eye. It's got like it's all stringy and shit. And I look over at you, I'm like, what the fuck? And then you were
I was
like,
like,
your mouth was open, like your pog face, just oh.
yeah, I was literally genuinely surprised by the fact that it like they showed all that blood, and I was like, "Huh, not even other stuff has shown it."
Yeah, because this is pretty early in the movie. It's like first 20 minutes, like this
Yeah.
happens. So yeah, we were surprised how graphic that was. But then move on. You talk to America Chavez. Turns out she's a parallel dimension like jumper. And then
She's like, "No bitches, Mr. Strange."
are you maidenless in this universe too? And then, America Chavez, they go to the big drink, order some stuff to eat, and then and then the Doctor Strange is like, yeah, I'll talk to one of my friends to see if I can get her to help us with the whole like multiverse jumping thing. So then he goes to visit another character from previous movies, Scarlet Witch, Wanda.
It's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and then she's in this like well, I guess when it introduces her, at first it's like you see her in like a house with her two sons, and they're just hanging around enjoying the whole like family thing. And then she wakes up from a dream, just like how Doctor Strange wakes up from his dream. And it turns out, guess what? Her sons weren't actually real. And
No, so this is built off of what happened in the WandaVision TV show, where Wanda had like a mental breakdown, and like after seeing Vision's dead body, she had a mental breakdown, went to this just random fucking town and enslaved the inhabitants of the entire place. The town was called Westview. And she just like literally enslaves all their minds and tortures them basically. And then like she like kind of gets like kicked out of there after the end because this evil witch was like, "I've been trying to study you. You're the Scarlet Witch." And it's like very on the nose, and I'm not a big fan. I like the costume they had in that a lot more than they did for her in this, but yeah,
it's a pretty
it's
minimalist
not,
costume.
you don't
here.
need to know it, but it's like,
Yeah, I mean,
it
they
just
do
kind of helps
establish
too.
it here that she really wants to meet her sons that were conjured in her mind using magic, because
Right,
that's
they're
what
purely
Doctor Strange
fictional.
says between the conversation.
Yeah, and that's also the case in the comics, is that they're purely fictional. She made them through magic.
Yeah.
Uh, and so that makes me wonder, are all those other versions of her kids also not real? Because then do they exist? Because they're not supposed to be real in any universe.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not too 100 on that. But yeah, so then she wakes up from the dream, goes outside, starts in her garden, or like, yeah, garden forest type thing. Doctor Strange shows up. He's like, yeah, I need your help with this. And then it turns out that, Wanda, I think, is the bad guy. She does like the whole like Thanos reality stone snapping thing, where she shows that the field that she's in is actually all dried and withered. And she also has this book called like the Darkhold or something, which I don't know when she got that, but she does have it, and
it happened at the end
her.
of WandaVision is when it happened.
Yeah, but it corrupted her, so it's like this like dark magic book or something. And Doctor Strange is like, wait a minute, you're the one that wants to go to the big drink. And she's like, I will get to the big drink no matter what. So
You don't seem to understand, Mr. Strange. I'm going to the big drink.
I'm going to the big drink. And I need America Chavez to do it, because America Chavez holds the one free coupon ticket to the big drink. So that's why. So it turns out, yeah, she's the one summoning the monsters to attack America Chavez. So so Doctor Strange goes back to the Temple of Come, and that's where America Chavez is.
Right.
And they're preparing to defend against the attack of
on.
Scarlet Witch. And apparently Scarlet Witch is like super strong or something in terms of like magic.
She was already pretty strong before, which was like a thing that they didn't directly say but kind of recently got said.
Yeah.
And it's like in Endgame, they're like, yeah, she would have killed Thanos if she wasn't stopped.
Yeah.
So
if fire wasn't rained. So yeah. So they go to the temple of Kaj Matal or something. And then Scarlet Witch shows up, and then cue fight scene. And in this fight scene, Scarlet Witch is basically just like sieging this big temple area by herself. So she's like firing, she's like shooting fireballs at them. Lives rent free inside their minds, and basically just kills everyone almost. Or kills like most people in that temple. And like you get to see them like actually dying, like them burning up and stuff. Like that
was another moment where I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was another. Was like, oh my god, Wanda's literally just murdering him. And like throughout that, she's like, I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. As she like burns the dude alive. She
keeps doing that. She keeps like
turns people into ash. Ash Williams.
It's this thing that's happening where everyone is defending what Wanda did in the Westview thing. They're like, it was an emotional moment. It's like, but people were still like killed and hurt by it. Like
innocent people.
Just because it's an emotional moment doesn't mean it wasn't wrong.
Yeah, and I guess they set it up in like Civil War that she would start hurting like innocent people because of the whole like they went on a mission in like Africa and she accidentally bombed like a building or something.
Yeah,
killed some people in a building. So I guess that's where you first see it. But in this one, she's literally just like murderizing these people.
Murderizing.
Yeah, and then they have like this cool. They do have some cool like scenes with the spells, where like she breaks through all of like the infantry and makes it inside the temple. And she steps in like this trap, and I guess it's like a mirror dimension trap or something, right?
Yeah.
And it has some like really interesting cinematography where it's like the camera's like moving around this like area, but all you see are like reflections and stuff. And then she, I guess she turns the trap on itself and like uses the reflections to try and kill people. So like inside the temple, she's like grabbing people through like puddles in the puddle, her like reflections in the puddles.
Yeah,
of
there's
water.
like this very quick scene where it's like these two guys who have been protecting America Chavez just get like yoinked.
Yeah, like
through
the bodyguards.
There's
like
so many puddles in this building.
Her hands just come up through the puddle, grab at their legs, then pulls them through. And I'm assuming that they just die after that. Like she kills them.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what happens.
Yeah, so she breaks out of this like trap, and then like fucks up Wong. Yeah, she just fucks up Wong in Doctor Strange. And I think what happens was that like I guess she just never learns her lesson through this, that whenever she tries to kidnap America Chavez, she accidentally triggers America Chavez's power and they escape. So what happens is she almost gets America Chavez, and then she she gets super scared, activates the multidimensional travel powers, and then she pulls herself through, and then Doctor Strange also gets pulled through, and then Wong stays behind. And there was this one scene in the fight where like Scarlet Witch like pushes Wong out of the way, or like throws him out of the way, and then he lands on like the step of these stairs, and like his neck is where it lands on. So
Dude,
so I thought Wong, he like just died.
He's on the verge of death this entire movie.
Yeah, he's like, there's not a scene in it after the first like 30 minutes where he's not have like 7 broken bones. He's in this movie more than I thought he would be, which is, I do like
so wild.
Yeah, so he lands in this really weird way, where I thought he died. So I looked over at you, and you were looking at me, and you were like, "Did he just die?"
Yeah, I was like, "Was that the bite of 87?
Was that the bite of 87? Dude, if he died, he can't go to the big drink." So then,
oh no!
Turns out he didn't die, But yeah, they get pulled through this parallel
Ooh.
universe, and then they get sent to like this one where it's like slightly more futuristic universe than
Yeah,
ours.
they go kind of flying through a couple of parallel universes and stuff. We see like a bunch of different cool, interesting ones.
Yeah.
There's one where they're animated and
Oh yeah,
stuff.
this yeah the scene of when they're flying through these different dimensions and like the portal like shows it too. Where like whenever she when she opened this portal up, it's like multiple star portals, and like each one has like a different layer of a different parallel dimension. So it looks really cool, and they're flying through it, and they get sucked in through like they get sucked through a lot of dimensions actually. Like I don't
Yeah,
remember
it's
how many.
oh man, I'm seeing it later today, so I'll count how many.
Yeah, they'll fly through like
Uh,
this ice wasteland and like the lava like volcano area, and then they get sent
they
through like
turn
this
into
dimension to
paint.
paint, where they're just paint, and
They get turned into
they
animated
get sent to the
characters.
animation land. Though it
And
looks
there's
like the
one where
animation
like
from
they're
What If actually, and then
it probably was.
yeah,
I genuinely thought I saw that and I went,
yeah, and then it just zooms in on
I
Doctor
hate
Strange's
that. I
face.
hate that fucking animation so much.
It gets it
It's
zooms in on
not
Doctor
good.
Strange's face, and his face gets cut up into cubes, and he's like screaming. And you know, and they eventually land in this like this one parallel universe that's really similar to ours, I guess, like super similar.
It's borderline the same. But
Yeah,
here's the
some
difference.
very small differences.
Ash Williams is running a pizza ball cart.
Yeah, they run into Ash
That's
Williams.
the only difference.
Yeah. Well, actually, in this scene, when they're walking, we get to see like a little bit of America Chavez's backstory through like this weird like machine that like goes through her memories or something. And they're
Plot
like,
device machine.
yeah, and then they're in this like, I guess it shows her two parents, and then
Yeah, her two parents.
yeah, and then it's like the first time she activates her power. So, she's like a little kid, and it's very clearly not our universe. So I think that's what they meant, is that she's just a person from another universe, another parallel universe.
Let's
She
just say
activates
her
the
parents
power.
are gay.
I guess so. Yeah,
What do you mean you guess so? They were.
yeah, I guess so. And
It,
then
the reason I'm bringing that up is because I think like Saudi Arabia wanted them to cut out that entire scene
just remove the
because they're like,
backstory thing.
yeah, they're like, we don't want gay representation to be
Listen.
shown, and then I go,
You Americans are weird.
what about the gay pin on her jacket?
The rainbow pin on her jacket.
I will say this: the suits her parents wore, I think, are very comic accurate to what her parents wear in the comics as well.
Yeah, I think they're,
Like,
they're
I think-
just
I
wearing
think
like
that's, like,
one
one for
piece.
one.
They're wearing like one piece jumpsuits
Yeah,
or
they
something.
got like neat little stars on them, and they're like
They look like,
kind
they're
of
like Star
monocolored.
Trek uniforms.
They very much are. They borderline are.
It looks a lot like that. So yeah, she
will
activates her
say this,
power
though.
accidentally, and then her parents get sucked through, and she gets sucked through too. So I guess she just assumed that they died.
Yeah, because she's just like they got thrown out somewhere.
Yeah, they were sent somewhere. So yeah, that's her backstory. They walk through the streets, and then they meet up with Bruce Campbell, Ash Williams.
He's like, "Hey, you're
He's
not
like,
the
"Hey,
real.
You
Doctor
stole that
Strange.
pizza bowl from me," which is he's completely justified in
one's-
saying.
No one steals from Pizza Papa or Papa Pizza."
The day of reckoning. I've eaten
day of
nothing.
reckoning.
I've eaten nothing but pizza bowls for the past 30 days.
Douche, douche, douche.
Stay tuned. The record will sky.
Such a fucking weird man.
I love him. So yeah, apparently America
love
Chavez just steals like this pizza bowl from Ash Williams, and he's like, "Hey, what the fuck? You got to pay for it." And then Doctor Strange casts some magic on him, where he's like beating himself up.
Yeah,
He
because
starts punching himself.
he's like, "How would you like some mustard on your face?" And then Doctor Strange is like, "No, how would you?" And he's like,
No you, and then cast the no you spell, and then so yeah, and then then they just leave him there, like broken man.
"Oh, yeah, punching himself for 3 weeks straight."
I don't know how long it was. It was probably no longer than like a day or two.
A day, Jesus Christ!
Like, you can believe it, right? Like, there's no time jumps in like this movie. It's like a whole You
I
see it
think the
like
only
step by
time
step,
jump.
right?
I think the only time jump is literally at the end.
There might be a time jump when he gets like when he passes out from the tea, but I don't think the time jump's like
All of
weeks.
that a
It's
time jump.
probably like maybe like a few hours. So yeah, but anyway,
Still,
so
I
it
mean, they're
turns
not
out in
very
this
they're not very
universe,
hard punches, so I think he's okay. It's very
yeah, T goes hard, you know.
so yeah. They find a Doctor Strange museum that Doctor
I
Papa
think they try to go to
mentioned.
the Sanctum Sanctorum, but in front of it is like a big statue of Doctor Strange, and it turns out that this universe's Doctor Strange is dead, killed by Thanos, is what is written on the statue.
Killed by Pizza Papa for not paying for his pizza.
After smuggling some pizza bowls, he was caught and then murdered, executed by Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Baron Mordo.
Yeah, so
Baron
Mordo
Modo.
is the sorcerer supreme in this universe, and
He's like,
he
my
walks
brother.
up on him. And if you don't know, remember who Mordo is? He's the black guy from the first one who got
That's
evil, I
very
guess.
accurate description.
Who was
Yeah,
sent evil?
it,
Because I
yeah.
think he
At
was
the
like
end
the
of
only black guy in that one,
he was. That's why
or
I'm
like
like
the
that's
black
an
guy
accurate
main
description.
character, something like that.
At the end of the first one, he's like the ancient one used ancient magic. That's evil. Man, that's
I feel,
wild.
yeah, and
And
he's
he
like, I
leaves.
feel betrayed.
Then he leaves.
Yeah,
And he comes up. He's
I
like,
thought he would
no
show.
more.
I thought he'd be like the main villain in Doctor Strange too, but that's
I
not.
thought
That's
so
not the
too.
case. That's
I
not the
thought
case.
that's who this Mortal was. I thought it was him. But then
Yeah,
also
but
it's like
it's
at the end of
not
the
that.
first one, at the end of the first one, he goes to the guy who told Doctor Strange about the magic in the first place, who only used the magic to help him walk, and then
Yeah.
he's like, "No more magic," and takes it away and just cripples this guy. And it's like, of all the people to go take magic from, why him?
Yeah, that's weird. You know, I
Just-
think he's just
cripples
venting.
this. He
He's just venting,
cripples
you know?
this dude.
I
He
mean,
just cripples.
if you're a lifelong master, would turned out to be a really evil, like was just sneaking stuff behind your back, like, hey,
When you're
sometimes you
lifelong
just gotta-
master whitewashing.
So yeah, in this universe, it's not the same Mordo as the one in our universe.
No, he's a very good person.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could make an argument against that.
He's
But
a
you know, takes him and he's
gooder.
like,
He's a
brother,
gooder
brother, what you doing, brother? And he goes,
Hey!
hugs Doctor Strange, takes him into the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then drugs him.
He gives him a big "Hey yo"
He gives him a big drink, and then
after dropping a lot of like plot exposition on him and everything. He's
Yeah.
like, "Also, you've been drugged." And he's like,
yeah, and I think at this point they're trying to find the, I forgot what they called the book.
MacGuffin.
Yeah, whatever the MacGuffin book was called, the one that's opposite the Darkhold. They're like, we need to get this book so we can stop Wanda, right? Because they're still getting chased
the
by
light
Wanda.
hold.
The
The big drink.
we need to get to the big drink. So that's what they're trying to say, right? They're trying to get to the big drink, and then Mordo drugs them, and then it turns out like there's like a council in this universe called the Illuminati. They literally call it that. That's the name of it.
It's also that's what they're called in the comic as well.
Really? Okay.
It's such a stupid group because it's like they've never had one good thing happen when they get together. It's like you're the smartest people in the world, but you're a bunch of fucking idiots.
They're not quite like the
You're all a
Avengers.
bunch of fucking idiots.
They're not quite like the Avengers. They're just like a council of people, or
In
a
the
council
comics-
of superheroes or something, right?
In the comics, it's like it's Black Panther, Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, Black Bolt again. Fucking stupid ass name.
the guy who's been to the big drink, yeah.
Big fan of the big drink. And fucking I think Namor. You know who Namor is?
I don't know who Namor is.
He's Aquaman, but he doesn't wear anything but a Speedo.
Oh,
That's
okay. So he's
genuinely
just
what his
straight up
character
naked,
is.
pretty much.
All the fucking time, and he's constantly trying to cuck Mr. Fantastic.
Cool.
I'm not joking. That's so many times in the comics. That's just his character arc. But yeah,
in this
that's
movie,
usually
in this movie we get to see the Illuminati. Like they cuff Doctor Strange because they think they say he's dangerous and stuff. And
You're
then they
dangerous.
yeah, and then the we see the council, and it's female Captain America.
Captain Carter, who is the
Yeah,
British
it was
uh,
Peggy Carter.
liaison, Peggy
Yeah,
Carter,
yeah, and she's the one who gets the super serum, I guess, in this
because
universe.
that's what happened in What If, and we gotta tie it in the What If. We gotta. You
If you
idiots,
did
you didn't
if you
watch it.
never
You didn't
watched
watch it.
if you've
Oh
never
no, you
watched
don't
What
know. I'm
If
better than you. I'm better.
if you've never watched What If, you don't need to know about this movie, so it doesn't really matter that much. And then Black Bolt is also in there. Was that
Black
his name?
again,
Black Bolt?
Bolt again.
Yeah, Black Bolt's in there. Uh, Charles Xavier's in there.
Uh huh.
Mr. Fantastic
Got a
shows up
big chair.
last.
He's got a big chair.
He's got a big chair in this one.
It's a big chair, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
be honest.
Mordo's on that council
I
too.
don't, I
And
don't,
then
I don't think it moves very well.
and then
There's
they
also
show the last guy, Mr.
there's
Fantastic.
well, hold on. There's also Maria Rambeau from the Captain Marvel movie, and she's now Captain Marvel.
Oh, is that who
Instead
that
of
was? I thought it was just a random like black woman. I didn't watch Captain Marvel.
no,
So.
it's still a woman from Captain Marvel. But here's the weird thing: in the comics, she's not Captain Marvel. Her daughter is, and
Oh,
they've already set that up to be the case, and are going to elaborate more on it with the Marvels movie that they're making about all three Captain Marvels. But they
there's more
don't.
than one Captain Marvel.
So there's Kamala Khan, there's Monica Rambeau, and then there's Carol Danvers. But like for some
But
reason,
does Kamala Khan have the same powers, or just called Captain
no.
Marvel?
Well, here's the thing. No, she doesn't. She's just a very big fan. She has powers more close to Mr. Fantastic in the comics.
Yeah,
But
I
in
thought
the
her name was like
MCU,
I thought they called her Miss Marvel.
she is because that's originally what Captain Marvel was called. She was Miss Marvel, and
Oh,
Captain Marvel was somebody else that then she took the moniker of. And then Kamala Khan's like, "Well, I really adore you, so I want to be called Miss Marvel." But in the MCU, she has closer powers to Carol Danvers now, where it's just she glows and shoots lasers and like makes constructs for herself. So she's
wait,
much
that's
like
Kamala
Green
Khan
Lantern.
in the MCU.
Yeah, that's what she's gonna become with her TV show that she's getting, and it's like this is not what her character is at all. But
Yeah, that's
whatever.
pretty weird.
But yeah, it's very weird that they went with her mom instead of
Man,
her, who is the
I
actual
hope that
Captain
not
Marvel.
all the Captain Marvels are fucking assholes like Carol Danvers.
I really hope they don't just all cause fucking like domestic
I
destruction.
mean, honestly, they might just all be like complete like idiots and assholes, and then like nobody likes the Captain Marvels. Like
it's
whenever they
just,
show up, everyone's like, "Oh,
tons of
okay."
someone's like, "Fuck, I gotta repair all this property damage now. Nothing's happened, but I know I'm gonna have
My
to.
jukebox.
You're gonna literally destroy an
Like
entire
they
subway
like
tunnel."
when Captain Marvel literally went to the big drink, she like destroyed half the place. So
She
she's banned
she
from the
broke
big drink.
she broke through the roof of Blockbuster. She raided a Radio Shack and destroyed a telephone.
Banned from the big drink permanently.
She
So
stole that man's bicycle and his clothes?
question mark?
Question
Give
mark?
me your underwear
She,
now.
she just,
Give me
yeah,
your underwear.
she destroyed that jukebox. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she
She
did.
didn't. She could have
Absolutely
she had
didn't need
powers.
to. Did not need to.
Yeah, like Nick Fury. He's like, how do you
Honestly,
have
she could
powers?
have just glowed a little bit, and that would have been fine.
Oh yeah, I could have glowed, could have flown a little. Like
Yeah,
anything
would've
other than
levitated.
shooting something.
Other than property damage, but yeah, you know.
Also, comic book Carol Danvers is supposed to be like in her late 40s. She's supposed to be as old as like Tony Stark
Oh,
and
she's
stuff.
like a boomer then, huh?
Yeah, because she's one of the original like heroes and stuff. So she's supposed to be as old as Tony Stark, and they're like, nah, 26-year-old Brie Larson.
No, 26. Take it or leave it. So yeah,
You're
what were
on.
we talking about here?
And
forgot. Oh,
then
yeah, so the
there's
Illuminati.
John Krasinski from The Office as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's playing as he plays Mr. Fantastic in this movie. I guess
I'm
in
gonna
this
say
universe.
this. So I know that Captain Carter and Captain Marvel have real suits. I
Yeah.
don't think Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic have real suits. I think their suits are CGI.
It might be, but I can't. I didn't tell, or I couldn't tell if that was CGI.
There's
It was
just
either so good that I couldn't tell, or it might have been
Well,
like the Endgame thing where all all the suits are CGI, but they're so good you can't really tell.
no, that's the thing. I could tell in Endgame. I can't tell here, and that's where I'm like, I want to believe that they're not because they look very good. They have very specific ways they move, but then there's also like flawless, like continuous continuum of the CGI for other parts of the suits when they're used and stuff,
Yeah.
specifically the popping and the stretching,
Yeah.
they look very smooth, and it's like I don't feel like that is physical completely. Plus his
No, no.
helmet, Black Bolt's helmet has like it's very skin tight. I'm like, I don't know if that's real. I don't know.
I mean, it could be real. That's the thing, right? It's gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, it looks good enough where it's like it doesn't really matter if it's real or not because it just looks
Also,
good. So
the Black Bolt actor in this is the same one from the Inhumans TV show that was absolute garbage.
really,
Yeah, it was so fucking bad. But
I could just
also
type in
that's
Black Bolt actor and then Clancy
um
Brown, Mr. Krabs.
he's back again.
I knew it.
Black Bolt me boy. Hi Black Bolt.
Black Doctor Strange, me boy.
But that actor is also on a Star Trek TV show. A couple of them.
Oh, yeah. I don't recognize this actor now.
I don't think you would. It's like if you're only like a super fucking nerd, you're like, it's him. It's him. Hi Black Bolt. Hi.
Black Bolt, the
Hi,
worst
Captain Pike.
superhero, Doctor Strange 2, and it's the picture of Black Bolt.
He
So he's got like a fork on his head or something.
Yeah, so it's a tuning fork to
Yeah,
like
it's a tuning fork.
so his powers both go through the fork as well as like through his mouth, I think.
Okay.
Because it's like if he speaks, he can just like literally decimate anything essentially. Like
Wait, does he just have like a sonic shriek or something? Is that what his power is?
yeah, but it's like just incredibly powerful. Like I think the first word he muttered after gaining his powers killed both his parents like immediately. Like it just
I know
disintegrated
that
them.
it vaporizes people. Like
Right.
that's what it does. So
That
like
happens in this movie.
yeah, in this movie they were like, yeah, we didn't tell you the whole truth about Doctor Strange's death or our Doctor Strange's death. So what happened is I think this Doctor Strange used the Darkhold and got corrupted.
Yeah.
And was trying to jump through multiverses, trying to like find a solution for Thanos in this universe.
I'm gonna be honest.
And he
I
caused
feel like Black Bolt could have just killed him.
oh, probably. Yeah. So he caused an incursion, which is when you jump into another universe and then jump out, that will cause like the two universes to like collide in on each other and just
That is a
destroy
thing
both
from
of
the
them.
comics. It's
Yes.
also a thing that the fuck, what are they called again? Illuminati had the deal with in the comics where they had built a device that will blow up any other world to save their own.
Right.
And it was like Namor and
yeah,
Doctor
that
Strange were
happened.
just fucking pressing the button like madmen.
Yeah, Doctor Strange did that in this universe. So they were like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we need to stop that right now. So then they used then Black Bolt just like vaporizes Doctor Strange.
He goes, I'm sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry. And then like the sound effect in the theater was actually like it was actually ear like destroying. Like it was,
It was
bad.
deafening.
It was
Truly.
deafening.
I also like how the way they killed him. Thanos
I don't think
was
this
they
movie
stabbed
was
him with his own sword.
I don't think this movie is like the best movie to watch in XD because of the whole like
No.
like increased sound design thing. Like there were like maybe two moments where the sound design was actually like really good in XD theater. That was the Black Bolt thing, and then I like it with the music fight, the musical note fight,
The guitar sting.
the guitar. Is that the only thing you
It's
remember? Being
it's
like, wow,
so
I'm glad
good.
I used you watched this in XD.
It's so good. I don't know how to. I really hope people really like
Yeah,
the
so
guitar sting
Black Bolt
because I
murders
love
Doctor
it.
Strange. And then yeah, they all decided to just kill Doctor Strange, and then they're like, the most dangerous thing is not America Chavez, it's you. And then Doctor Strange's like, I beg to differ.
That's
and then
also
Wanda
a very
shows
wild
up.
thing. That's a very wild thing because in the comics, both Doctor Strange and Reed Richards are the most dangerous things to the multiverse. So it's very hypocritical for him to be like,
Yeah,
you're
for
actually
Reed Richards to
dangerous.
be like, you're the most. It's like he's just trying to like put off all the blame
Harry-
from himself. Just like, no,
Yeah,
not
there's
me,
literally there's
you.
literally an alternate version of Reed Richards who has like a super deformed body, and he's like called like the Maker or something, and he's a fucking psychopath. He just like kills everything.
Really.
Yeah, it's truly like he's a straight monster, and he's like, you're the most dangerous.
You're the
No,
most dangerous thing.
you are, you fucking monster.
The
But
Maker.
yeah, it's like the Maker or something. I don't know exactly what, but he's got a fucking weird ass helmet design because he has a elongated head, like a
Oh, right.
pterodactyl. But yeah, then Scarlet Witch attacks the museum that they work in.
Yeah. So what happened was,
It's a
I
museum.
guess there's a spell in the Darkhold that makes you be able to send your
Sleepwalk.
consciousness. It's called dream walking,
Oh,
and you can
Dreamwalk.
send your consciousness into like a separate version of you in a different parallel universe, and that's what Wanda did. So Wanda shows up to the museum in her parallel self, like her consciousness in her parallel self, and then like they fight, and
Just
then she fights with the Illuminati,
so
and
first she like just wipes the floor with all the Ultron bots because like
yeah, there was
why
Ultron bots in
just
there, and I was like,
done.
oh my god, is Ultron in this universe? And I don't think so. It's just robots that look like Ultron.
There he is, and he's dead now.
Yeah, so she wipes out all the bots, and then she's like covered in blood, and I'm not sure if it's her own blood or someone else's, but
I think it's supposed to be the grease from the robots. I don't think it's supposed to be actual blood
it
yet.
looks like blood.
It
That's,
looks like
that's
it, yeah.
It looks like it. So I guess that's how they could get away with that PG-13. It's like, no, it's not blood. It's the grease from the robots, the oil.
And then the Illuminati all show up except for Dr. Xavier
No,
and
except for Morbius.
Mordo.
Mordo.
Morbius. Yeah, Mordo and
Yeah,
Xavier stay
Mordius.
back.
Mordius.
Morbius and Morbius and Professor Xavier stay back, and then like the rest of the Illuminati show up, and Reed Richards, the big brain, million IQ man that he is, and he's like, "Careful, Wanda. Black Bolt over here can kill you with just one word." And
Uh-huh.
Black Bolt's like, oh. And then she's like, "But how will he do that with no mouth?" And then it like cuts to him, and he's just got like a fucking smooth skin, just.
No, I think it was like he said something like he's like stand down, Wanda. We don't want to kill you. Black Bolt can like wipe you out with like a single sound from his mouth. And then she's like, "What mouth?" And then like it pans over to Black Bolt, and his mouth's like, basically it's just like, I guess she bends reality and makes it so he doesn't have a mouth. So then he's like, he freaks out, and then like I guess he says something, but then like
Oh, that's a good point. Does she cause his brain to like implode? Or is it that he doesn't have anywhere for the noise to go out of? So because he already
oh
like sucked in
wait,
there and
so
everything,
what did you
it's just
think
an
happened?
internal. So I thought she just like literally exploded his brain, but
Oh
that's I didn't even
no,
think
that's not. I don't
he.
think that's what happened.
Oh my god,
Because
I
what
didn't even
happened
think
was
about that.
she
It's
she
so much more
basically
interesting.
she basically glued his mouth shut, and then when he made a sound, the sound went into his mouth, but since it couldn't get out of his mouth, it like caused like a re impact, like Noon's third law reaction, and then like the sound blew out his own head. That's what happened, I think. Doesn't
Hey,
because doesn't it seem like that's what happened?
that makes so much more sense because I found the
Because
clip on YouTube.
he tried using his power there, right?
So I was gonna say I found the clip on YouTube earlier, and I like rewatched it a couple times, like watched that scene over because it's just very fucking violent, and I
It's
really
pretty
enjoy how
gory.
violent it is.
It is
And
very violent,
I was like,
graphic.
man, that's really interesting. And I realized you can hear him powering up the speak, the
Yeah, I
entire
mean, you
like
can
build
see
up.
like the vibrations from his power too.
The fork is like glowing and
So he
everything.
freaks out. He freaks out and he makes a sound, and then it like reverberates inside his own like head, and like it blows out his own brains.
Oh yeah, it explodes out
Yeah, it
and
explodes
dips
out of his
in.
like the side of his head,
Oh my god, I
and then he
love it
falls
so
over and
much.
dies.
His eyes are bleeding. He has blood coming from his nose. And again, I truly think there's a much more violent CG rendering of that shot, especially with
Probably.
how he hits the floor. I really feel like it's just like a brain fucking like splattered on
Yeah,
the
I think
floor after he hits it.
I don't think that is like it penetrated his suit, so his suit just like like on the head, and his head like
Oh yeah,
expands, and then it
I
comes
think
back
his
in.
skin like in their thing, it's his skin is resistant, but not the other parts of himself.
Uh huh.
So it's like it's how he can speak and focus it out,
Yeah.
but because it was so internalized, it just like literally imploded. Oh
Yeah,
god, I fucking
it
it's
imploded his
so
head.
good.
So
I
that's how he
love how
dies.
violent.
And then like they all just like freeze at it because I guess they didn't expect this Wanda to be as strong as she is.
Yeah,
Because
like
I guess
immediately.
Wanda in other universes isn't actually that strong.
No, she. Okay, so in the comics, she's like literally one of the most powerful people. She literally erased mutants from existence once, like permanently.
Hmm.
But no, yeah, I guess in the MCU verse, it's because she has become the Scarlet Witch. She's become more powerful or whatever.
Maybe it's because she's got the Darkhold. So
That
I
that
don't
too,
know.
I think. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so like
she
they're all like shocked that Black Bolt just freaking died right there. So then they all
and,
just like immediately attack her.
and
And
Reed
then
Richards
Reed
stretches his
Richards
arm.
stretches his arm, just like the original Fantastic Four from like 1980 something. And then like
Stretches that bad boy.
and then she like magics Reed Richards and starts like pulling him apart like a
Unfurling
string.
him.
Yeah, like pulling him apart like a string cheese. So
I
he's
was
like,
going to say string cheese.
yeah,
But then his head pops too.
yeah. So like it's string. She's string cheesing his like body from like the bottom up, and like as it gets to his head, his head just like blows up, like pops.
Yeah, you can see her magic like pops his head, which
Yeah.
also I think again for that to cover up the blood, they like for another effect to keep like that sort of like simulation, but
Yeah.
to like cover it up, they use like just her glowing magic and that there is an R-rated cut of blood exploding out.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's another pretty graphic thing. So like Black Bolt and Reed Richards dies like immediately. In,
And
like,
here's also why I think
that.
they were both CG suits because they got rid of them immediately.
Maybe that might have been it.
Because they didn't move around a lot and they immediately were gone.
They died pretty quick.
Right, by the way, I really love how he enters the room with the Illuminati. Like he just teleports in with this sort of like flat thing that like teleports him in. I love that effect. I don't know why, but I was like I was like I like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
apparently he's got like a device that teleports him. So
once that happened, I was like, holy shit! I thought this was PG-13.
yeah, it
I
was
just
pretty
kept
graphic. You
saying
get to
that.
see all of it pretty much. And then yeah, Carver, Carver America, and
Sergeant Carver.
Captain Carver and and the Captain Marvel of this universe start fighting her.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a normal fight scene with like the whole like she's shooting beams at her and throwing shields, and then I think she managed to like push away Captain Marvel for a little bit, and then
she like grabs
and
Captain
she uses
Carter's
Captain
shield,
Carver's shield and cuts her in half with it, like bisects her at the
fucking
waist.
flings it at her. And there's blood dripping off the shield. It's like an
Yeah.
incredibly bloody shield that's like dripping.
You don't
and everything.
see,
I'm like,
you don't really get to see her like bisected actually, but it'll cut to like a shot of like the shield hitting the wall behind her, kind of far away, and she's
I think you
blurry
see,
in the
yeah,
background.
I think you see her in the distance, like fall
Yeah, you see her in the
apart.
distance, like blurry, and then her top half falls over, and the shield's all like dripping with blood, and that was pretty brutal. And then she like knocks out Captain Marvel, and then throws like a statue onto her. That was probably the least graphic one that I thought.
I was gonna say, I think hers is the most ambiguous.
I thought kills in this movie were gonna look like that, where it's like, just like oh, look, a statue falls on her, and then you see the hand,
Like every other
like
Marvel
lifeless,
movie
and that's
ever.
about it. Yeah, like that. That
But
was
also-
that was like a PG-13 death.
I think her death was ambiguous like that to like be like she could come back.
I mean, I don't. Isn't Captain Marvel like strong, like durable, strong, where like a
Yeah.
statue falling on her wouldn't kill her?
Well, I think the thing is like she broke her like shields or whatever, but no, I don't think she died from the statue, and that's why I'm like I think this might be a setup for the Marvels so they can get that actress in on it and have
Yeah,
even
maybe.
more.
Maybe.
That's
I
why
mean,
I'm
this
like, I
is
don't
technically a
think
different
she died.
universe, so I guess
Exactly.
that's why they just did whatever. That's why they just like murdered them like so brutally.
Exactly.
It's because this is just a different universe.
Dude, it's so good. And then Professor Xavier rolls up and he's like, Wanda, wait.
Wanda, detective. I'm the one
Detective.
you're looking for.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so Charles Xavier rocks up and like mentally tries to attack her, but in his mind, like Monster Wanda comes out and like snaps his neck, and
Yeah,
then it
he's
snaps
like,
his neck in real life, and he's dead.
Wanda, are you here? And she's like, pull me out from this rumble that's supposed to
Got you,
emphasize
Wanda.
that I'm trapped.
If
And
I
he's
could
like,
pull you out,
"I've got
then maybe you can take back control.
And then a red cloud shows up and she's just like, ah!
Yeah, she comes out of the red cloud and snaps his neck. So
And
that's
he's
how
just
Charles dies.
dead. He's
I don't
just-
think, yeah, Mordo and Doctor Strange get into a little fight but I don't think Mordo actually dies, right?
No, Mordo does not die. I was super expecting him to be in the pit and then Wanda to like walk up and just fucking like explode him or something. But
Yeah,
also,
but
I
that never
love
happened.
I love that like of all these like graphically dead bodies, Professor Xavier is just a fucking man in a giant chair, just
Yeah, so like
like
he's sitting in his giant chair, and then when his neck gets snapped, he just like
yeah.
falls over on his chair. He's leaning on his giant chair as he's dead. Yeah, and you know
So
a chase
it's
sequence
so
happens. A
big.
chase sequence happens with Wanda and America Chavez and Doctor Strange after they meet up, and then also
And Christine.
Christine from this universe shows up, and it was in there. And then you know chase scene. They make it to they finally make it to the gap between. They make it to the big drink, right?
The
And they're
big
trying
drink.
to get to this book in the middle of the big drink.
They're like, we have to jump.
Yeah, and then they get to it, and then Wanda shows up and like burns the book or something. And then so you know they can't use the book anymore, and then she activates America Chavez's power, I guess, and then sends them back. Sends America
Sends
Chavez.
them to a. She sends Doctor Strange and Christina into a world where an incursion had happened,
Yeah,
where it's like two worlds are colliding and it's like ghost remnants of each other, and they're like, "Oh, what's that? It's a ghostly Sanctum Sanctorum." And then there's like a man in the window, and he's like, "Oh shit!" and he like runs away from it.
oh, what the fuck?
It's
I
literally
hope
what
they didn't see
happens.
me.
Like, there's just a blurry image, and it's like a man in a window. He's like, "Oh
Yeah,
fuck!" and he like starts running away.
yeah. And you know, turns out that man is Doctor Strange.
What if?
Was that
No,
the Doctor
it's
Strange? No, it wasn't
no,
Doctor
it's
Strange.
not. And it's like I love how everybody was like, "It's him for what if? It's him for what if?" And I'm like, they don't look
Like,
alike.
because I kept
Though.
saying, I said that there was an evil Doctor Strange in this movie that had like a longer beard, and you're like, no, he's clean shaven. I'm like, no, I definitely don't remember him being clean shaven. And I was
And I
talking about
kept
this
telling,
Doctor
and
Strange.
we learned every Doctor Strange who was clean shaven was evil
And they've also the only Doctor Strange that I saw that was clean shaven had died.
because he was evil.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, almost all of the Doctor
Your
Stranges we
Honor,
saw, other than
I
ours,
Amber
is
Heard's
evil,
attorney,
James.
rest my case.
Almost all of them are evil, James.
Amber Heard here has, as her attorney, Your Honor, I rest my case.
Hearsay, Your Honor. Objection.
Also, I like how in that trial, every person that gives a testimony looks at the person asking them the questions, but every time she talks, she stares right at the jury and she's like,
I mean,
I remember.
how can you not believe Amber Heard after her super emotional testimony? Like it's
Yeah, man.
so
How
much
can you
crying.
not believe her
I
after
think
she
I think
literally
maybe
read from a script?
I think maybe I saw a tear in there. I'm not sure. I just thought it was a lot of crying.
Did you see the clip where she literally pauses for a person to take a photo while wiping her tears?
I did see that.
Have you seen that
Where she
one
like
of her testimonies?
she's like sniffling
like,
and then she puts up the
pauses,
piece of
she's like-
paper. She puts the
she, like,
piece of paper
looks at
up
the-
to her mouth and then like she like
literally-
glances at the dude holding the camera and then like
looks
stops.
down.
Yeah, looks down, stops for a second. You hear the shutter click and then like the flash of light. Then she waits a little bit longer and then she puts down the thing. Anyway, though, back to Doctor
it's wild.
Strange.
Yeah.
He fights with this evil Doctor Strange, which I guess is also a Doctor Strange that's been corrupted by the Darkhold. So he fights
Yeah,
with this
he has
one.
a dark hole. He has a third eye.
Yeah, third eye.
I'm evil.
Is that just an effect that happens, like a side effect of using the Darkhold? Just get a third eye.
I guess. It's so weird.
Yeah, so he gets a third eye, and this fight is actually really cool. Actually, I like this fight a lot.
Oh yeah,
Where they're using musical notes as like
it
spells.
reminded me a lot of the show Legion, where all the mental fights were depicted through songs playing over them, and like each character had a certain way that their like music would be portrayed and everything.
Yeah,
And it
So,
just
like,
that's what
they're-
this reminded me of.
yeah, they're
I
like
really liked it.
playing. So like they're playing like classical music, or the music playing like fits in with the fight, where like they're throwing like musical notes at each other, and it's like playing songs, and they're like countering each other with like sheet music and stuff. I don't know. It's just a really cool fight.
And then he beats that Doctor Strange,
Yeah, he
who
beats
like
Doctor Strange.
he like kicks him through a window, and because I guess he doesn't have his cape,
He kicks him through the
just
big window on
dies.
the top floor of the Sanctum
Window
Sanctorum.
he stood in and ran away from once he'd been perceived.
Yeah, and then he falls, and then he lands on the spiked fence outside, like it freaking stabs into him.
Gets impaled and
Yeah, he
everything.
gets
Also,
impaled.
Wanda has found a temple that's a temple to herself because she's like the first
I think
demon or something.
what she did was, what happened between this is that her Darkhold gets destroyed. So like Wong is all like tied up, and then her Wong is all tied up.
The Darkhold gets this. That
then,
happened
like,
earlier on when she was.
And then some
sleepwalking
other
or
sorcerer
dreamwalking.
survived, and she's like, and then the sorcerer's like, I can destroy that book. And then Wong's like, no, you can't, otherwise it will kill you. But then she's like, no, I got this. So she pulls out a knife. She like tackles the Darkhold. She tackles the Darkhold, stabs it, and then she burns alive after destroying it. So
we're gonna have to speed run this because I gotta leave in 5 minutes.
oh, okay, that's fine.
Just
Then.
notice the time.
Sure. Then we'll so that happens. Doctor Strange beats evil Doctor Strange. He starts dreamwalking back into his
the
parallel
zombie
universe.
body of the Doctor Strange from the very beginning of the movie that tried to kill American Chavez.
Yeah, so America
He's being
Chavez
attacked from,
arrived
like,
with
demons and stuff.
the dead Doctor Strange, and then so he dreams walks into the dead body, uses that body to save America
very
Chavez.
good zombie effects. Very good zombie effects.
Yes. Then he teaches America Chavez gets like this epiphany of like how to use her powers again. So she starts fighting Wanda and like using like the parallel universe thing. She opens up a portal, and then shows Wanda, I guess,
the Wanda that she dreamwalked through that like is all beat up and bloodied.
Yeah, and also the one that has the kids. And I guess the kids are real in that universe, whether or not
I guess
she like
so.
actually birthed them or whatever. So yeah, then like the evil Wanda, Scarlet Witch, meets with other Wanda's kids, and then like she realizes that she actually is a monster. So yeah, and I guess it just mentally breaks her down, literally gets into her mind, starts gaslighting her. So America Chavez, Chavez, puts her back into her own universe, and she's like, all right, get out of here. I'm destroying this whole place. Because the place that they were in is a temple that I guess the Darkhold was transcribed from. And it's only a place that the Sorcerer Supreme knows about. So it's like an evil temple.
It's a temple to Scarlet Witch herself, which is not exactly Wanda. It's like a saint, like it's a group of witches.
It prophesizes like an evil witch or something.
In WandaVision, they disclose that Scarlet Witch is not Wanda herself. It's what like any witch of this sort of power is. They are just the Scarlet Witch by hold, and so that's
it's like
what
a title.
Yeah, and so that's what this is a temple to. It's not to her specifically; it's to Scarlet Witch in general, which I guess is also the first demon according to this.
Oh, okay.
But
and they also never wear shoes, which is another thing.
No, I kept saying
no shoes,
the JD,
no socks.
I kept turning the JD, and I kept going, "Put those grippers away."
I don't know if you noticed this, but the big statue on the wall had really long toes.
You're gonna have to finish this, by the way. I'm getting yelled at. I gotta go.
All right.
You're gonna have to finish this.
Okay,
Bye.
I'll finish this then. We're pretty much right at the end. So, anyway, yeah. So America Chavez figures out. Wait a minute, I'm out of here too. I'm back. America Chavez figures out her power, and then all's well that ends well. Wanda takes freaking destroys the temple. America Chavez makes a portal to go get Doctor Strange and Christine from the dimension that they're trapped in, or the parallel universe they're trapped in, and then happily ever after. It's all good. All good in the hood from there. If you enjoyed this review, you should like and subscribe, and you can catch us every Sunday. That's when the podcast drops. We'll see you next time, though. I don't have James to take us out this time, so I guess I'll take us out.